Okay. So we will get started. Give me 1 second. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Welcome to the winter retreat of the President's Day weekend. This is something we have been doing, in fact, with the Arsha Vidya Gurukulam for a number of years. In the beginning, it used to be live in person and was quite popular also. But I think over time, with many buildings there and the winter uncertainty about icy conditions, etc., it was thought to be more prudent to make this retreat online. And so that is why we are having this online. And then, it's a small retreat just over this long weekend. And so we will take up the first two mantras of the Kaivalyopanishad. And because it is perfect for the time, in the sense of the winter, it's perfect for the time. It is going within and collecting some of the things that we already know for those of us who have been studying, and it is also for so in that sense it will be a revision, and it will also be a kind of a new look into this particular Upanishad. So with these words, we will say our regular opening prayer and then get started. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome to everybody, and for those who are joining for the first time, special welcome to them. And the meaning of the word Kaivalya and Upanishad we will see. Kaivalya comes from the word Kevala. In certain, what is that? In certain vernacular languages, Kevala has a bad, kind of a derogatory meaning not quite up to par, Kevala. But here, it is a different meaning. Kevala means only. Okay. Kevala, the word means only. So Kevalasya bhavaha means the Kevala-ness. In other words, Kevala-ness means what? Onlyness. Not loneliness. Very different, okay? Don't confuse the two things, because it is not about loneliness Upanishad. What is it? Onlyness. All that there is you. And if all that there is you, then of course, if we don't know the teachings, if we don't have an idea of what Vedanta is, and if we don't know what to do, then what happens is that we feel, oh, all that there is me. Oh, no, no, no. Where are my friends? What has happened to me? What is all this? Then naturally there will be anxiety. Naturally there will be a certain feeling of I'm not, I'm not okay, like this. But here, the onlyness has a very special significance. It is not the onlyness of feeling lonely, of feeling bereft, of feeling unconnected, unmoved, and somehow out there. No, that's not the onlyness that we are talking about. It is an onlyness which ensues from the vision of the Vedas of that which is connected to oneness. The vision of Vedanta is oneness. And that oneness is what is expressed here as onlyness. See, now it is not so lonely, is it? Because first, if you say onlyness, there is panic. Oh my God, I'm the only one and I'm all by myself. And the reason I came to this Upanishad is because the reason I'm taking this retreat is because I was feeling lonely and I'm feeling unconnected. But then, now what? Now I am all connected. All right. Now I'm all connected, but then it is still feeling a sense of a mystery. And so therefore, the onlyness we have to connect directly with the vision of Vedanta. And what is that vision? In one word, it is oneness. So the oneness is connected to the meaning of this Upanishad, onlyness. And when we talk of oneness, there is a sense of connection. And that is exactly what moksha is. Moksha is not going off into the sunset, going off into the hills with the kamandalu in hand and some kind of I don't want the world, I'm going away from the world, because you carry the world where? In between the temples. That is where you carry the world. So wherever you go, there you are. And if it is not one thing that is bothering you, it's your mother. Okay, if it's not one thing, it's it's the mother. Okay, so what to do? So wherever you go, you carry the Jagat with you. No, but I have left the Jagat behind. I've left the wife, I've left the spouse, I've left the house, I've left this, I've left that. Left what? And where is the lever? Where is the lever of all these things? The one who says, I have left, you are carrying him or her with you. That is the ahankara. That is the I notion. That is who you are carrying with all the time. And then this is the person that you're carrying. And then even if you go to the ends of the earth, and even if we go to outer space somewhere, even if you go to some kind of a, what is that? Some kind of a Goldilocks planet. What is a Goldilocks planet? Goldilocks planet means a planet that has some capacity for habitable life. They detect with a telescope, they can detect many things. From the mass of the planet itself, they can detect whether it has moisture. Moisture means water. Water is a signature for life. And so they can detect the heaviness or the lightness or otherwise of the atmosphere. They can detect, they know what oxygen molecules are like, so they can detect the presence of that. They can detect oceans, gases, so many things. So let us say they have found many such planets in the habitable region. And so even if you were to go there somehow by some miracle, even if you were to go there, After 5 minutes, you will find fault with that planet also. Why is the atmosphere like this? Why is it like this? So, really speaking, you can never get away from the manifest universe except cognitively. And that is what this onlyness, the discovery of this oneness, which here is described as onlyness, is all about. So the discovery of oneness means what? The word that we are using here, the word I'm using is discovery. Discovering means uncovering that which is already there. So it is this. It is something. It is siddhasya sadhya. So we are, the sadhya means the goal. The goal is that which is already attained. The goal of oneness. Oneness means comfort. Oneness means connection. Oneness means the dropping of all notions of alienation. Oneness means I am safe. Oneness means security, safety. Oneness means I am one with everything. And this is what I seek to be. I want to be included. I want to be one with everything. And what does the Shastra say? The Shastra, the Upanishad, the Vedanta says this is already Siddha. Siddha means accomplished. What you think is sadhya is already siddha. This is siddha means accomplished. Sadhya, to be accomplished. Oh, this is very different from what I thought. Yes, what you thought is not what is correct. What you thought needs to be edited, needs to be corrected. So the frantic efforts that one has put in the world so far, either to get away from things that bother one, like people, situation, circumstances, animate things, inanimate things. Why? Because of one's own mindset. If the mindset is not all right, then what happens? Even a rock can bother one. Why is it here? Why does it have this shape? And why is it in my way? This is what one can ask of the rock. The rock will, what will the rock say? The rock will say, so sad, even though you rock, you don't know it. That is what the rock will say. So one can be bothered by a rock, one can be bothered by a sunset, one can be bothered by anything, even the most beautiful thing, because beauty, of course, is subjective. That's why it is said it lies in the eyes of the beholder. So even the most beautiful thing that we even people commonly acknowledge as pleasant can be a source of bother. So even the thing that generates happiness in general can be a source of bother sometimes. Why? Because something is not okay. And what is it that is not okay? What is it that is not okay? What is not okay is my own non-understanding, agrahanam, as the Mandukya Upanishad says. And that non-understanding, of course, we know by another name, ajnanam. Ajnanam means the ignorance. Even though there can be many kinds of ignorances or ignorance of many kinds of things, here we are interested in plumbing the depths of one particular kind of ignorance, which is the ignorance of the self. The ignorance of a self, the self-ignorance, is actually the only thing that needs to be corrected. Why? Because the self is all. That's the only thing there is. That's why the ignorance on the self is a costly mistake. If supposing I'm ignorant of something, that there is a black hole, I am ignorant of the fact that there is a black hole. I haven't studied astronomy. I don't know that there is a black hole. Not much is lost. Yes, I will not be, invited to a potluck full of intellectual and well-informed, erudite astronomers. That's not a problem. It's okay. Nothing happens. I don't hobnob with these kinds of people. I don't know much about physics. I don't know much less about astrophysics. I don't know. This ignorance does not really seal my fate. But why not? Because there are many other branches of knowledge maybe I am proficient in. If I'm not proficient in one branch of knowledge, nothing lost. I have other branches of knowledge that I can be proficient in. And so I don't know astronomy, okay. I don't know physics, okay, no problem. But maybe I know music, and maybe I can delight in that. And so therefore, the ignorance centered on the objects in the universe is not does not seal my fate, does not cause that much difficulty. And besides, it can be easily corrected. Even now, if I want to pursue astronomy, I can do that. I can take a course. I can correct that. I can correct the ignorance of anatma. Now we can use this word, anatman. Anatma is what? Not atma. Atma means I. So the ignorance centered on the not I is constantly dropping, constantly corrected. And now what with all our devices? We have so many devices, and everything is connected to the internet. And immediately I can look up something. I don't know something, immediately I can look it up. I can look it up, and then I can correct my understanding. So the anatma ignorance, yes, it is important to dismiss that to a certain extent. Anatma ignorance has to be dismissed. Why? Because I have to live in this world. I have to relate to people. And then even if I have to study Vedanta, certain anatma ignorance has to drop. Anatma ignorance with regard to what? With regard to grammar has to drop. With regard to the English language, if the classes are in English, has to drop. And if the classes are in Sanskrit, or let's say we are, as I'm hoping to do, studying a little bit of Tika, a certain kind of commentary along with this Upanishad, then that also has to drop. Everything has to drop. And in this dropping, that means I have to, the anatma, the knowledge of anatma is important. It is called aparavidya in the Mundakopanishad. And there the teacher, Angiras, sage Angiras, tells Shaunaka, the student, that dve vidye veditavye, two kinds of knowledges must be studied, have to be studied. What is that, Paracha, aparacha. So aparavidya means knowledge of objects. Aparavidya also means knowledge of anatma. Aparavidya or anatma vidya also means knowledge of objects, and knowledge of objects also means knowledge of the finite. Knowledge of everything that automatically is got a ticker inside it, and that means the knowledge of everything that comes to an end. That is important. It's important to study this, because without this basic knowledge, I will not be able to turn towards the knowledge of the knowledge of Atma. I will not be able to drop anatma avidya. I will not be able to drop the ignorance of the I. I will not be able to drop at all unless and until I have this under the belt. I have this knowledge of just basic arithmetic, reading, writing, little bit of logical skills to be able to follow an argument. But then, as I said, the anatma avidya drops automatically. If you're born in a family, as a child, you don't know who the mother is, but after a little while, you hear her voice, and it's the same voice you heard when you were in the belly of the mother, and then it is soothing, comforting, hopefully. And then we are only talking of primary caregivers, okay? Not primary caregivers, all right? Yeah, so we're just keeping it general. So, hopefully, for the child, it is soothing, and then the mother ignorance drops, father ignorance drop, sibling ignorance also drops. This is brother, the one who is mean to me is my brother. The one who is kind to me, another brother. Like this, all these things. Sister ignorance, brother ignorance drops. And then what else drops? The ignorance of grandparents drops, friends, house ignorance drops. And as one goes to school, mathematics ignorance drops, geography ignorance drops, civics ignorance drops, botany, physics, all these things, biology ignorance drops. As one grows up further, goes to college, all these other complex ignorances also drops more and more. Biochemistry, microbiology, astrophysics, all these things drop. Calculus ignorance can also drop. And then one day, like this, Atma ignorance also drops. Am I right? No. Wrong. Oh, but you just said all the ignorance drops. That's only aparavidya, not paravidya. Not paravidya at all. Only aparavidya ignorance drops, not paravidya. But why? So unfair. True. Who said things are fair? Things are not fair all the time. Who said, why should it be like that? Well, it is like that because, one has to actively pursue this knowledge. What knowledge is this? Knowledge of I. The I ignorance does not drop even if you do Shirshasana. Shirshasana we encourage headstand. Why? Because we encourage all activities that bring blood to the brain. Okay, yeah, so that the thinking is clear. That is why we encourage any kind of things. So Shirshasana, what will it do? It will help you think clearly. That is definitely there. But what will it not do? What it will not do is give the knowledge of Atma. Nothing will give the knowledge of Atma. Not even chat AI. One of our Swamis, this chat AI, this chat bot, what she did, she wrote, teach me Vedanta to the chat bot. Okay. And it was surprisingly well informed about Vedanta. It was surprisingly well informed. In fact, I didn't know whether to be impressed as I was reading what it was saying, or whether to be dejected, because myself and all the other Swamis would be out of a job. If chatbot could teach completely, chat AI can teach completely Vedanta, then what to do? We'll all have to go into seclusion and just revel in the glory of ourselves. No more teaching, no more nothing. I was wondering whether to celebrate this or whether to feel slightly dejected. And then I could see that even though it gave an accurate description, the same kind of description that you can get by Googling what is Vedanta, it was accurate. But it does not have the means to communicate that to the person in a way that a transformation is possible. Why? Because it was treating Vedanta as though it was Aparavidya. That is what I saw. As though it was the knowledge of the finite. As though, in other words, it was one more thing to be mastered, to be conquered, to have this catch and kill mentality. Because with everything we have catch, kill, conquer, eat. This is from the, what is that, the Prakrita Buddhi, means the bestial remnants of being beasts in previous lives. That is what continues. What does the animal do? Catch, kill, conquer, eat. So that's what it is. And then it will mark its territory. It is territorial. This all is mine. And then you cannot come over here. And what do? We do the same thing. We have the same approach to life, just as the remnants of the animal samskaras. Same remnants. And every branch of knowledge, I caught it, I killed it. So much so that if I talk to teenagers and I ask them, how did you do in this exam? They will say, Swamini ji, I killed it. And first time I heard, I got a little worried. I said, what? What is this? Then they assured me that kill is a very good thing. Kill means I did very well. Even in our language, we use this. Everything is caught, killed, conquered. And I, the ahankara, for lack of a better term, ego. I am what? I am there who is the catcher. I am the catcher. I am the killer. I am the conqueror. Goes back to all the way to who was it who said the Julius Caesar. Caesar has to be spelled C's with a ER at the end, okay? Because of what he said. What did he say? I came, I saw, I conquered. Same thing. Same thing. I came, I saw, I conquered. Catch, kill, conquer. Catch, kill, eat. This is what it is. This is our orientation to every single pursuit in life. And the pursuit naturally involves knowledge, because I cannot pursue what I don't know even a little bit. So the pursuit involves knowledge. Pursuit has to involve knowledge, because even for something to be an object of desire, because pursuit means that it involves desire and knowledge. So even for something to be an object of desire, I have to know a little bit about it. You cannot desire something that you do not know. You have to at least know indirectly from somebody else, this is a very good restaurant. Okay. The desire for it rises when you know something, at least indirectly. But here, so the knowledge and the pursuit go together, and the pursuit is such that it has to lead in a conquest. Otherwise, I am not happy. If the pursuit does not lead in a conquest, I am not happy at all. Because there is a feeling of dejection. Same thing. Animal also had that dejection. And the caveman, when he went out hunting, also had that. Pujya Swami used to give a wonderful example. He used to say that even the caveman would be depressed. Why? Because one day he went, looked everywhere. He wanted to kill something and bring for the family. But all he could get was a squirrel. That's all. And so, like this, every single pursuit is based on a sense of conquest. And then this sense of conquest is totally connected to a sense of accomplishment centered on the I. As long as I pursue and I get something, I am okay. And so the pursuit is important, Pursuits are important for two reasons. All the pursuits in the world that we have are important for two reasons. What is the first reason? The first reason it is important is because I have to meet my needs. Food, clothing, shelter. I have to meet my needs. And if I have to get food, clothing, shelter, and a place to live, etc., then you should not be in the way. Shoo, get lost. It's all mine. I have to get this. And you also are trying to get this. No. And this is how what we call survival of the, what is that, fittest. All these things we have studied. Very Darwinian. And so you push the competition out of the way. We still do that. And then the pursuits are important for a sense of basic survival. And here, my friends, we depart very much from the, what is it called? We depart very much from the animals who I think are better off than us. Without a PhD, the weaver bird builds an intricate nest. Beautiful it is. It doesn't really have education to do that. It hasn't done some kind of a masters in weaving and fine arts. It hasn't done that. And if you examine the nest outside, it is impenetrable, so beautifully woven. And then inside, for the babies to stay, the bedroom. Yeah, the bedroom you should see of this nest. It's lined with the softest of things that the bird has picked individually with its beak and brought it to the nest. Soft feathers, cotton, soft cloth for the baby birds to be able to thrive. Who taught it to do that? Nobody. And then the baby birds are raised, fed, and pushed out of the nest. The fledglings get their wings and they fly away. And what do the mother bird and the father bird do? They say, okay, let us go. Let us go south for a holiday. Let us migrate. And then what? This wonderful nest which we have built with so much effort, let us put it on Airbnb. No, no such thing. No Airbnb, nothing. The B&B stands for bird and bird, okay, in this bird Airbnb. So shall we put this on Airbnb, and how would they even advertise this nest? 3 bedroom, wonderful. Entire apartment, tree view on one side, city view on the other side. Come one, come all for the whole season. Or perhaps there is a nest swap. So there is I am going, and maybe I'm going here to South America, and maybe I can stay in your nest, and then you can stay in my nest. Are we doing this? The purpose fulfilled, the need for that survival of that nest is dropped. It is abandoned. So much so that even the other bird doesn't have the parigraha, the grabbing tendency to grab onto this nest and do something with it. No, it will build its own nest. Whereas the human being, one nest, not enough. Another nest, not enough. Third nest, not enough. Nest egg, not enough. Still more and more and more and more and more. In this way, we depart from the animal kingdom. Yes, the first reason for the pursuit is the fulfillment of the what? The basic requirements of life. But while the animals are objective about what the basic requirements of life are, the human beings seem to appear to have a very subjective orientation to what is really needed, what is really a requirement, what is really a luxury. We have completely lost sight of this. We haven't the faintest clue. Why? And the reason is because of a blessing and a curse simultaneously. Oh, what do you want? You want the bad news first or the good news first? No, 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 give me the good news first. It's a blessing. The capacity, the human capacity to desire is unlike that of animals, and it's a blessing. Why? Because it's as though Mother Maya, Mother Nature, Prakriti, Goddess, the Goddess filled this being with everything, with unlimited capacity to desire, unlimited self-awareness. Animals are also self-aware. If a pocket dog, the dog that stays in the purse, it has a name, I forgot, something, Wawa, Chihuahua, yes, Chihuahua, which stays in the purse, meets this big dog. What is that dog? The dog that rescues people with a little whiskey barrel around its neck. What is that dog? We
Saint
see it in the
Bernards.
thing. Huh? What is that?
Saint Bernards.
Saint Bernard, correct. Huge dog. And in the cold places, they show this dog with a little bit of whiskey around its neck, so that it will go and rescue all the trapped people. And the best way, if you are having hypothermia, apparently, is to drink this stuff, and then one is saved, life is saved. And then so, let's say the pocket dog meets this one. What will it do? It will not mistake this, it will not mistake it for some lion or something. It knows it's a dog. So first it will make sure it's nicely in the pocketbook, firmly in the pocketbook, and then from there it will give a small bark from the safety of its purse. It will give a bark. So there is enough self-awareness for same species recognition for the sake of propagation, and there is enough recognition of predators, not my species. Why? For the sake of defending oneself, for the sake of the life to continue. And so that much self-awareness is there, no more. But the human being is blessed with total uninhibited self-awareness, which includes the capacity for uninhibited numbers of desire, uninhibited desire, total freedom to desire. It is just so wonderful. And then because of this, it is a blessing. And then what? What is not a blessing? Because of this uninhibited capacity, to desire, the capacity for awareness of myself and everything else. As a result, what happens? Unfortunately, this capacity for uninhibited self-awareness translates into the sad ability to come to conclusions about the I that are also unlimited. Unlimited capacity to come to conclusions about the I. I am an idiot. I don't love myself. Nobody else loves me. I can't handle this. I don't want this. I don't want that. And I am this much and this much alone. I am as good as the body. Body is healthy, therefore what? I am healthy. Dehe pushte, aham pushtaha. Oh, body is destroyed, therefore I am destroyed. I am as good as the body. Body is in pain. I am in pain. Body is hungry. I am hungry. Like this. So, the capacity to have total and uninhibited self-awareness unfortunately leads the human beings, the human race alone, to what? To come to wrong conclusions about the I. I'm free enough to come to conclusions about myself that are detrimental to me. Detrimental to me. Very sad. And so, therefore, this needs correction. That's why Vedanta is not for pet dogs and cats. It is for you. It is not for your dog. It's not for kitty. It is not for doggy. And people say, oh, my dog studies Vedanta. your dog is not studying Vedanta. Nobody takes online classes. It is only sitting there because you are sitting there. That's all. You get up and go, it will also get up and go. But why? Why is it not studying Vedanta? Because you need Vedanta, not the dog. That's why the word for animals in Sanskrit is muktaha. They are naturally free. They are free of these inhibitions about the self. I saw one dog the other day. From either from birth or because of some amputation, it has only 3 legs. There you'll see it in Rishikesh. 3 legs. And it just gallops. It's just happy as anything can be, wags the tail. In fact, the tail is wagging the entire dog. And it's just so happy to see you. And in fact, in Rishikesh, all the dogs, they need a board on the neck. Watch out, beware. I am super affectionate. Yeah, this is this is what it is. You cannot make eye contact with a single dog on your walk by the Ganga. Otherwise, it's all over, because they say that they think it is a permission to just jump up and hug you. That's all they want to do. That's all, including this 3-legged one. The 3-legged one is the first to approach anybody. And I will show my hands. I will say, look, I have no biscuits, no bread, nothing. And then it doesn't matter. I want you. I don't want bread. I don't want biscuits. They just come like that. In a way, it's nice, because that shows that the animals are treated well, because there is so much trust when the human beings are there. You don't find that in big metropolis in India. Here you find it. There is a love of animals. And the animals are free. The cow doesn't need, the calf that you encounter does not need Vedanta. When I pet the calf, I don't say, you know what, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. I don't need to tell it that. Why? Because they are already free of this gripping sense of lack, this gripping sense of isolation, this gripping sense of I am not okay, which is centered on the I. They are free. They don't need. This teaching. Who needs this teaching? You need this teaching. You need this teaching because you are the one who is grieving from a sense of incompleteness. You are the one who needs to correct this. This correction of this wrong understanding of the I is what is called moksha, is what is called Atmavidya. And that this ignorance of the I, which leads to wrong notions, is not dropped on its own. It is not dropped on its own. Then how is it dropped? you, you know, first with chat AI. What is Vedanta? You ask it to tell. And then after that, now not much change has happened in me. What should I do? Again, ask chat what to do. Traditionally, you go to the teacher, it will tell. Yeah. And then driven by chat AI, you come ready for a different kind of a chat. A special chat called Samvada, which is the meaning of the word Upanishad. Upanishad is always in the form of a chat, a dialogue, a different kind of chat than AI chat. It's a dialogue. Why? Because what is to be studied is not something to be believed. What is to be studied is something that is what? That is something to be understood. Something to be understood. I have to understand this. It is not a matter for belief that I am Brahman, that I am non-separate from Ishvara, that there is oneness in the universe and I am included in this oneness, and that everything is one. I am this one. I am the only thing there is. This is not something that can be intuited. Why? Because we are talking of the nature of the one who is making this intuition, who is having this intuition. We are talking about the intuitor of this matter. We cannot stumble on this knowledge because we are talking about the nature, the content of the stumbler. We are talking about all these things. Therefore, it has to be taught. It has to be ajnana nirasanam, the removal of this ignorance is something that is a serious matter. If I don't know what is black hole, if I don't know what is this, maybe there is a little bit of a loss. Okay, I don't get something. Doesn't matter. But the loss of the infinite is an infinite loss. Absolutely. Why? Because it is all about me. And that is why Vedanta is so much a body of knowledge that is beloved. It is a beloved body of knowledge because it's all about me. It's not about him, her, it, this, they. It's all about me. Somebody wrote a book. I am okay, you are okay. You know, there is some truth to it. And that is really the premise of Vedanta. If I am okay, everything is okay. If I am not okay, nothing is okay. Nothing is okay. We see this in children. If they are tired and they need to go to sleep, small toddler, but then you say, okay, come, here is your favorite toy. They will throw that favorite toy. They don't need that at this time. Here is something to eat. No, I don't want something to eat. I don't know what's happening to me. I just am cranky. That's why the mother has to decode, okay? The child has been fed, the child has been changed, the child doesn't appear to have stomachache. So, parisheshanyayena means by the logic of residues, what is left? What is left is it needs to sleep. That's all. That is how the parents do this, especially with the first child. That's how they they parent. So this is basically what we are talking about here, is that this knowledge you have to choose to drop this knowledge. You have to choose to drop this knowledge. And choosing to drop this knowledge is paramount to dropping this, not dropping the ignorance of the I. So the Atma ignorance is dropped by Shravanam. Shravanam means approaching a teacher and studying, listening. Listening is important, the extent to which I can hone the ears, not just the physical ears, that's okay, that is also needed, but then I have to be ready to deploy the ear of the ear. Shrotrasya Shrotram. Amazing. This is the Kenopanishad. That which hears is not the ear. The ear is just like it's an organ. It's like a machine that is capable of doing something. But you have to switch the machine on, then only it will function. And that which switches the ear on is the hearer, the ear of the ear. The hearer has to be present. Who is the hearer? I. I have to be there. And especially true in online classes. Yeah, very true. Because the mind goes, there is some noise, the mind goes. And then in Zoom, there's, what is that? There you have this feature. What is this feature? Stop video. This feature. So then what happens? Then I can do whatever I want. I can go, I can go do this, do that. And many times the online classes are, because it's the same device, it's the same laptop on which I'm watching Netflix, and it's the same laptop on which I'm watching President's Day weekend retreat. So it's naturally the mind is confused, poor thing. So when I'm watching Netflix, I'm making popcorn and I'm eating. When I'm watching President's Day retreat, what am I doing? Eating. In fact, during these pandemic times, I think all the Vedanta teachers, they have seen it all, seen everything on Zoom. Every single thing I have seen on Zoom. There is nothing left to see, and some things are so much, it's difficult to unsee them now after having seen them. One husband and wife, they were at loggerheads. First, I saw them arguing. Of course, they were on mute, thank God. We didn't know what they were arguing about. And then they were arguing. And then after that, it almost came to blows. I thought maybe I should intervene, but thankfully, they stopped. So, like this, these are all examples of not Shravanam. Shravanam means I really take this time for myself. Really, that's what it is. I take this time for myself and understand the seriousness of this pursuit. Understand also, and we'll be talking about this in the next session tomorrow, understand that this knowledge cannot be got any other way, chatbots included, chat AI included. This cannot be got in any other way except by opening my heart and letting it blossom, opening the heart lotus and letting it blossom in the sunshine of the knowledge. That is what I have to do. So, Shravanam is not a service to the teacher. Shravanam means the close listening and attention that I pay to the vidya that is coming through the laptop, the computer, is not a favor to the teacher. Who is it a favor to? It is a favor to myself, nobody else. It's a favor to myself, because the more open I am, the sooner this ignorance drops. How, why, etc. we will see in our next session, bright and early for you, and then later this afternoon for me. All right. All the best. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Yeah, please keep the passcode in a safe place and please share it with everybody through WhatsApp and other means. Okay, thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Mama. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Yeah, Shubharatri. Nice to see everybody. And then Shubharatri. See you in the morning. All right. Yes.
Pranam Swaminiji.
Pranam. Om Tat Sat. All the best. Take care.